In this video, I'm going to talk about how to use EFT tapping to become an awesome parent by breaking free from your parents' painful legacy. My name is Stefan Gonick. I'm an expert EFT practitioner and trainer from EFTalive.com. You love your kids so much, and you try and be the absolute best parent you can be. And yet there comes a time for most parents where we say to ourselves, I can't believe that I just did the same painful thing to my child that I hated that my parent did to me. This could be things like, yelling in the same way that mom did, or doing a sarcastic put down like dad did, or any number of different kinds of painful behaviors. And what's even worse is that just becoming aware of our painful behavior is not enough, because our painful behavior towards our child is so automatic that it's really hard to stop doing it. We don't even realize that we're doing it until afterwards. We look back and go, I did it again. So the question is, what causes us to treat our kids in similar negative ways as our parents treated us? And more importantly, how can we use EFT to quickly break free and become the awesome parent that we want to be? The reason why we subconsciously treat our kids in similar ways as our parents treated us, even though we hated the way they treated us, is because we have an unhealed emotional wound from their painful behavior. And paradoxically, this unhealed emotional wound subconsciously causes us to either behave in the same way towards our children or the extreme opposite way, which is not good either. So for instance, let's say you had a yelling, screaming parent. And because of your unhealed emotional wound, you'll either become a yelling, screaming parent yourself, unfortunately, or you'll become the extreme opposite, where you become sort of a weak, quiet parent where your kids walk all over you. And that's not good. There's a healthy middle ground that is what we actually want. So the solution to all this is to use EFT to heal the original emotional wounds from our parents' negative behavior in a special way, which I'll go over in a little bit. And then what you'll see is that you will automatically stop doing the negative behavior without even thinking about it. So you were doing it automatically, subconsciously before, and then you'll just stop, which I've seen over and over again when I've done this with my clients. And it's an incredibly liberating thing. And in fact, sometimes I would have to actually invite them to notice that they stopped doing the behavior, because it was automatic they were doing it, and it was automatic that they stopped doing it. And then the last step, which is optional, is that once you've removed this negative behavior, you will tend to naturally handle situations a lot better. But this is also a place where you can start now thinking about how you would ideally like to handle situations. Right? So this is where reading all these books on parenting can become super effective, when before it was really hard to follow their advice. Even without this so you can kind of think about what you want to do and then rehearse it mentally in advance, so that next time this similar kind of situation comes up, where before you were triggered into the painful behavior of your parent, you instead have this kind of practice way of handling a situation that's the best possible way you can do it. But even without that step, lots of times just removing the negative behavior will put you in so much of a better place. You'll handle the situation much more gracefully. So let's talk about an example. So it's easier to follow this if it's concrete. So let's go back to the example of that sort of yelling, angry parent, right? So the way you would work with this with EFT is you would try and think of the youngest time you remember your parent doing that to you. Okay? In fact, we're going to do it approximately 3 times. We're going to pick 3 example memories of a parent doing it to us. Starting with the youngest, I call this first and worst. So you're trying to think of the youngest time. It doesn't have to be the actual earliest time, but the youngest you can remember anyway, of your parent doing this painful behavior, the yelling. And then 2 of the worst times that could happen later, which are sort of reinforcing painful experiences that really makes the issue get stuck in you, right? So you want to heal those 3 memories. And typically, usually, when I work with clients, healing 3 memories is almost always all it takes. If you do this on your own, it may take you more than 3, but eventually you'll still get there. Now, when you heal these memories, though, with EFT, you have to bring in an extra element that's not normally part of regular EFT. So normally you would relive the memory, feel all the painful feelings, and tap on them until they're gone, right? And just doing that can be really helpful. So you don't absolutely have to do this extra part, but I find this extra part to be particularly effective in breaking out of the old pattern. So this extra part is to help our inner child stand up for her or himself in relation to the parent. Because the idea is that when we get treated in a certain painful way over and over again, starting from a young age, no matter how much we hated being treated that way, there's a part of us deep down subconsciously that comes to believe that we deserve to be treated that way. And it normalizes it for us. That's one of the reasons why we then turn around and treat our kids that way. So we felt like we deserved it, it feels normal, and we just do it too. Okay? So we want to bring something to address that feeling that it's, that we deserve to be treated that way. And so we do that by helping our inner child stand up for her or himself with the parent and basically saying, hey, it's not okay to treat me that way, with forcefulness, right? You can yell it or be super assertive, whatever feels comfortable for you, but we want to support our inner child to stand up to our parent in the memory. So you would start by tapping on all the painful feelings you're feeling and bring them down either all the way or most of the way. And then when it feels like the right moment, you would say, okay, I'm going to help my inner child stand up for her himself. And to make it easier, I'm going to use my magic wand in my imagination, right, to paralyze the parent and then shrink him down in size to the size of a doll so that we're not intimidated by this angry, yelling parent anymore, right? They're very little. And then we say, with our own feeling of strength and empowerment, it's like, whatever the negative behavior was. So the example has been, getting really angry and yelling at me. So it's like, Mom, you get really angry and yell at me when I do something you don't like, and that's not okay. So you say that, you do that kind of thing several times until you feel strong, right? The whole goal of that part is to stand up for ourselves and feel strong, really solid in the idea that it was not okay to treat me that way, right? It's not okay to treat me that way. And that way, we no longer feel like we deserve to be treated that way, and it no longer feels normal, it no longer feels acceptable, and we no longer do it to our kids. That's why this part's so important. Okay, and then so once you do this, and you'll come to a place where you go, oh, that felt really good, standing up for myself. I felt great, and I feel stronger, I feel more solid, things like that. Then you know that you've succeeded and you're done. So anyway, like I said, you just do that with 3 memories first, and then 2 of the worst, and then just notice when you're with your kids in the same kind of situation that would normally trigger you into an angry yelling thing, and you'll notice that, I'm staying calm. I'm not getting angry and yelling. Or I'm not making that cutting, sarcastic remark. Or I'm not guilt-tripping my child, or whatever the negative, painful parent's behavior was. And it's an awesome thing. And then, like I said, you have that optional step of thinking about, okay, in this situation, how would I ideally like to handle it with my child? How would I ideally like to treat my child in this situation? But that's optional, because like I say, you'll already automatically do it much better. It's only a matter of if you want to do it like the best possible better, right? So this would be a great gift to you and a great gift to your child. Because once you clear this stuff out, you will become the loving, patient, and awesome parent that you really want to be. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, it would really help me and other people to find this video if you just take a second to like it. I also invite you to go to my website and get my free ebook called Heal Your Beliefs, Heal Your Life, which using the magic of EFT. This helps you shift negative beliefs that are either blocking you or negatively impacting your life into positive beliefs that help you really free you up. And I look forward to reading your comments and questions in the comments below. I also invite you to subscribe to my channel to get all my latest and greatest videos on using EFT to enhance your life. And keep tapping, and I'll see you on the next video.